The concept that connects my CPC problem is positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement consists of a behavior being displayed after a stimulus is presented, and that desirable behavior is then increased. The only way that positive reinforcement works is if the incentive is a desired consequence. So, to have positive reinforcements in class is important rather than negative reinforcements. Positive reinforcements are mutually beneficial, meaning that the child is behaving in a way that the teacher desires and the child is receiving an acceptable incentive. All children struggle sometimes, and positive reinforcements can help them get through their day and help them to continue to learn effectively. So in my problem specifically, students have take-home lectures that they're able to watch on their iPad, which is given to each student for the span of the school year. And one of the main issues in my problem is that some students lack the motivation needed to complete watching the lectures outside of class and come to class the next day unprepared because of this. So this may not seem like a big deal, but students that actually watch the take-home lecture are then ahead of other students, and not everyone is on the same page. Positive reinforcement is needed in the take-home lectures for students who do not watch them at home, and it is also needed in class for the students who are gifted and misbehave during the instructional day because they've completed the take-home lectures. To combat the issues within my problem, I would use positive reinforcement in two different ways. So for the students who do not complete the take-home lectures, I will personalize their lecture and have games that go along with the lecture intermittently throughout the lecture. This type of reinforcement will be of the variable type, meaning that it will be on an unpredictable schedule. I do not want the students to rush through the problems to get to the games, so I would also put in sporadic review questions that they must answer correctly to move on to the next portion or section of the lecture. By giving them games in between and at the end of their lectures, my hope is that this type of reinforcement will give them the motivation they need to complete the lectures at home and be ready for the in-class homework the next day. And for the students who are gifted and misbehaving in class because they're ahead of the other students, I would give them iPad time if they complete the homework in class before other students are finished. The iPad time would consist of games that go along with the lecture that the students who had struggled watching the lectures with at home had put on their iPads individually. Once those games are completed, they would have many choices of learning games that were previously put on the classroom iPads by me, the teacher. This type of positive reinforcement would be of the ratio type, meaning that the students know that the incentives occur after a certain amount of desirable behavior is performed. Completing the in-class homework without misbehaving and disrupting students who are still working. By allowing the gifted students iPad time when their in-class homework is completed, my hope is that this type of reinforcement will give them the motivation needed to not misbehave in class. So assessing this problem will be very informal and alternative. The reward of the games in the lecture will not be able to be assessed directly by me, the teacher, because they're doing it at home. But if all the kids have personal accounts, I'll be able to log in on a mastery level account and be able to see if they completed the lecture, review questions, how many times it took them to correctly answer the review questions, and if they completed the intermittent games within and at the end of the lecture. If they have and it seems to be working, I will keep using this plan, and if not, I would try different forms of positive reinforcement. And to assess the gifted students, I would also be able to see if they watch the lectures online, but in contrast to the other students, I would be able to directly tell if they are behaving during instructional class time because I will be present. If rewarding them with iPad time works and they misbehave less and less, I would keep using that plan, and if not, I would try a different form of positive reinforcement and continue to do so until I found one that works. I wonder if positive reinforcement works with students who have a learning disability and do not always feel rewarded with the same incentives that kids without a learning disability receive. So my question is, with inclusive classrooms increasing in general education, how would I positively reinforce students with a learning disability who do not see iPad games as rewards like children without a learning disability do?